We know 5 people had to be rescued from a sandbar after they got trapped during high tide in Milford.
Fox 61's Alicia Hercules shares what you need to know before you take a walk along a sandbar.
The tide along this sandbar can come in quickly and pose danger to even the strongest of swimmers. Lifeguards say you have to be alert no matter what time you're here. I spoke with visitors who say that they always followed the lifeguards' instructions whenever they walk here.
But you have to take precautions. Water is scary.
Rebecca Soma says she walks along the sandbar with her children at least once a summer.
Sometimes, even at low tide, the walkway is still partially covered.
The sandbar from Silver Sand State Park leads to Charles Island, an abandoned island turned bird sanctuary. Early Sunday morning, 2 people were overcome by high tide as they walked along the sandbar. 3 bystanders from the shore jumped into the water to try to save them. They too were overcome by the tide and had to be rescued by first responders. Ashley Mitchell, the head lifeguard for Walnut Gulf and Anchor Beach, says checking the tides before venturing into the water is a must.
They can come in so fast. You really have to know the charts and be aware of, when it's going in or out.
Charles Island is only accessible during low tide on a sandbar. Even then, the journey can be dangerous.
You have to be a very strong swimmer to swim out here, and even the strongest swimmers sometimes struggle.
The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection prohibits walking on the sandbar when it's partially covered. Mitchell says it's important to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Go where you're comfortable, don't go too far.
Soma says she relies on guidance from lifeguards to stay safe while walking along the sandbar.
And the lifeguards really do a great job of, usually when I'm out there, they're calling us back in when we need to.
To stay up to date with the tides, Mitchell encourages people to ask a lifeguard or check out a tide chart online. In Milford, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
The search for a fisherman who went missing off Penfield Beach over the weekend is now being referred to as a recovery mission. According to the Fairfield Police Department, 2 fishermen were reportedly in distress Saturday morning after they became trapped by the incoming tide. Police say a bystander went into the water and was able to help one of the fishermen before they were rescued by a police boat. Now, that second fisherman, identified as 34-year-old Kauai Edwards, is still missing. As of Saturday evening, first responders say the search operation has now transitioned to a recovery effort.
All right, after a heat-filled weekend, we are seeing some cooler weather this week. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank has the first check of the forecast now. Rach, we talked about this over the weekend. It's gotten warm enough lately that when we see temperatures in the 70s, it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, near average for this time of year feels cool compared to what we've been dealing with. And it's nice to give the AC a break and our wallets a break as well. Here's a look at temperatures currently. We're in the 70s, but it's a little bit breezy. And we've got temperatures that are cooler in the hills and the higher elevations in the upper 60s right now. Here's a look at those winds that I was just telling you about. Gusts up to as high as 20 to near 30 miles per hour. The winds will slowly diminish tonight, and look at these numbers, near 50 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So a really refreshing start to the day. Cool, crisp, if I might say. By noon, temperatures are in the low 70s, and we'll see high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s as we head through the afternoon. Lots of sunshine through the day tomorrow. I do think we'll see more cloud cover on Wednesday. There is a chance for an isolated shower, but it looks like there is a better chance for showers and maybe even thunderstorms on Thursday. We'll talk more about it. Your full forecast is coming up.
All right, Rach, thank you. Well, the first case of measles in Connecticut this year has been found in Hartford County. That's according to the State Department of Public Health. The department said the case was found in an unvaccinated adult who recently traveled internationally, but clarified it had nothing to do with the World Cup. DPH said the person began to show symptoms after returning and said that person is now stable in a hospital. So far in 2026, more than 2,000 measles cases have been reported across the U.S.
A high-stakes vote could have major implications for the future of leadership in Norwich. And it comes after months of tension between the city and several volunteer fire departments. Fox 61's Glenn Kittle has more on what council members are expected to consider tonight.
Tonight's city council meeting could be one of the most watched in Norwich this year. Council members are expected to discuss and vote on whether they have confidence in City Manager John Salamoni's leadership following his handling of the city's ongoing dispute with the Yantic, Taftville, Laurel Hill, and Oakham volunteer fire departments. In a previous interview with Fox 61, Salamone said the proposed agreement required the volunteer departments to participate in a unified command structure. However, the Yantic Volunteer Fire Department has said they were not given enough time to review the document with its members before operations were suspended. The resolution was requested by 2 aldermen and comes as volunteer fire leaders accuse city officials of damaging relationships with volunteers and spending more than $400,000 taxpayer dollars on staffing, legal fees, and public relations efforts tied to the controversy. Supporters of the measure are urging people to attend tonight's meeting and make their voices heard, while city leaders have defended their actions throughout the dispute. We'll bring you the outcome of that vote as soon as it's made public. In Norwich, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
Well, a firm has been chosen to review how the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities system handled sexual harassment accusations. The Board of Regents picked Grand River Solutions to look into the handling of the accusations against former interim Chancellor John Meduco. The firm will look to see if protocols were followed. It will also look for any broader patterns of misconduct, because Meduco was just one of 4 high-profile employees to either leave or be put on leave in the last year or so. Initial findings are expected by the end of the month, with a full report due within 3 months.
The U.S. and Iran have reached an agreement aimed at ending the war and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Now, a formal signing ceremony is expected to take place in Geneva on Friday, following the president's participation in the G7 summit in France this week. Cole Higgins shares the latest.
Ships of the world, start your engines, let the oil flow. That's the triumphant message from President Donald Trump following the announcement of a tentative deal to end the war between the U.S. and Iran. Although the text of the agreement has not yet been released, the president says ships are already moving through the strait.
Ships are starting to go out now. On Friday, it'll be completely opened.
Vice President J.D. Vance on a media blitz this morning, touting the deal as a fresh start between the U.S. and Iran.
The agreement is fundamentally built around a 2-step verification process. We say to the Iranians, you are welcome to have access to an unsanctioned economy, but only if you honor the commitments that you make in this agreement.
Oil prices plunged to 3-month lows after the agreement was announced, though experts cautioned it would take time for Americans to see relief at the gas pump.
I'm very concerned we could see oil prices skyrocket later this summer, with crude oil prices heading well into the mid to high $100 range and gasoline pump prices heading back to old-time highs around $5 a gallon.
While the world waits to see the fine print, critics of the deal say the U.S. didn't get enough in return.
Before the war started, there were negotiations underway for a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year pause in Iran's nuclear program. So if that's all we're getting here after losing the lives of 13 service members and spending tens, maybe $100+ billion, this will have been an absolute catastrophic strategic failure.
Cole Higgins, Fox 61.
Well, California Governor Gavin Newsom says the Department of Justice is investigating him and his wife. In a video posted to social media, Newsom accused President Donald Trump of having a personal vendetta against him and of targeting a political enemy. Newsom is a potential 2028 presidential contender. He said that Trump picked the wrong guy to target and that he and his wife Jennifer have nothing to hide. Newsom did not indicate what the DOJ is investigating.
An Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent was hit by a car and then fired his gun at an alleged suspect this morning in New Jersey. Now, that happened around 9:30 in Manahawkin, about 10 miles from Long Beach Island. Police say that ICE agent was attempting to apprehend a suspect when the person drove away in a car, hitting the agent. That's when officers say that agent shot at the car, hitting it. The agent was injured, but police have not released the extent of their injuries. They also have not released what led up to that incident.
Well, the chief medical examiner ruled that a 3-year-old girl died accidentally when she was hit by a car. That report said Akari Cortez died from blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and right leg. Police said Cortez was hit on East Center Street in Manchester Thursday morning around 4:30. Right now, the State Department of Children and Families is investigating Akari's family. In a statement, the agency said it got 2 reports earlier this month that alleged lack of supervision involving the child's family. Well, 6 people were left without a home after a fire in Hartford yesterday. It happened just after 3:30 at a duplex on Theodore Napper Lane. Fire officials said everyone made it out safely, but 2 families were displaced, including 3 adults and 3 children. We're told a firefighter was also treated for a minor injury. The cause of the fire is under investigation now.
Right now, officials are investigating a suspicious incident over in Burlington. State police tell us troopers responded to an address on Stanwich Lane yesterday afternoon. At this time, police have not shared what that incident is, but of course, we'll bring you updates as soon as we get them.